Because some people, if they cannot do it themselves, they're going to make you feel that you cannot do it either.
Those people will be the ones closest to you, whether it be friends or family, unfortunately.
They're the first ones going to say to you, you're going to fail. What are you doing? So I call a buddy of mine, I'm going to start a company called Robinson Empire. He's like, Robinson Empire? Why would you call your company Robinson Empire? What the fuck? Why don't you call it something else? What's wrong with the name? He's like, dude, that thing's never going to succeed. Ever. I'm going to fucking prove you wrong.
I was like the first match to the fire. I'm fucking doing this.
Fuck you.
Ladies and gentlemen,
you are now about to witness
the journey that is the Life Choices podcast.
Yeah! Well, there you go. Yeah. So we grew up in the same era.
Yeah, basically.
Of libraries, encyclopedias, and going to get information way differently.
When, you're talking about when, like, basically things make sense.
Yes.
We do research and we learn.
Yes.
Yes.
You actually find out the factual information from other people who have done the research and written it down for us.
Yeah.
Now we're going about it in a kind of different way. We have all these other platforms available to us, and we're kind of trying to filter through what the bullshit is and what the realism is.
Which we have a lot of bullshit out right now.
But we have had for a long time. We just didn't know. I didn't know it when I was growing up, how full of shit media was.
Yeah.
Because I just didn't know. I wasn't aware.
Yeah.
And now that I can kind of like make my own decisions as to how I want to live my life, I get a better idea of what people are kind of just trying to pull the wool over your eyes, and hopefully you buy into it and then stop doing your own thing.
Yeah.
Which is just...
like people always try to dictate how to live your life. You know what I mean? And some people, they don't understand you live your life the way you want to live your life and not worry about what people think.
Amen. I've learned, or I've understood that more recently in my life than when I was younger.
Yeah.
I can fully admit in my 20s, I was very naivete, I guess you call it.
Yeah.
I was floating through life being a selfish individual, not really worrying about much, but I was very influenced by others, and I cared too much about what people thought of me.
Which is a big problem with the young generation right now. A lot of them, they don't have a sense of purpose on a way that everything they do become extremely shallow. They don't see themselves for who they are. They see themselves how people sway them to it. And which is very sad. Because when I was growing up, the only thing my dad used to tell me, love yourself first.
Really? You grew up with a father that actually told you that?
Correct. Love yourself first. And the second thing is take care of yourself. Because if you don't have the love, there's no way you're going to take care of yourself. Because I think love is everything. For me.
I don't disagree with you on that fact.
You see what I'm saying? Because I think, is the show started already?
Yeah, it's completely different in season 3.
Yeah.
We just get right into the real shit.
Yeah, I think if you love yourself, or if you had someone in your life or have someone in your life to basically teach you what love really is, then I think on the end of the day, you will grow up with better self-esteem, believe in yourself, and you will see the world a complete different way. Because, like there's a lot of young men out there right now who never have it. Never had a dad. Never have anybody in their life to influence them, to give him love, to tell them, hey, to give him a structure. You know what I mean? Because I believe structure is important. I remember when I was a kid, my dad loved me, but he was tough on me at the same time. He always said to me, listen, I'm your dad. I'm your provider, but I'm here to make you a man.
Sounds like you had a hell of a dad.
Yeah, I have a hell of a dad.
And he's still around.
Yes.
That's awesome.
He's 82.
Wow.
Yes.
That's really awesome.
Yeah, and he's still like he's my dad.
Yeah. He'll still whoop your ass.
Yeah,
if he has to.
exactly. Like, this is the craziest thing. When I go see him, it's like, how's everything? Everything is good. He always he always said to me that he loves me.
See, I grew up in a household where I was just as fortunate as you from that aspect.
Yeah.
I had both my parents. I was a rare thing back then, but my parents stayed together.
Yeah.
And my dad, I've said this so many times. My dad and I didn't get along per se when I was a child because we were very similar in personalities.
Yeah.
But there wasn't a day that I didn't know that he loved me.
Yeah.
You know, he was busy providing for a family of 5 human beings.
Yeah.
And as a child, you don't quite understand that, you know, what that means, the sacrifice, the dedication. He worked almost 7 days a week, but he was always there for things, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe not the practices of football, but the game.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I grew up in a very open household. You know, my dad always kissed me and said, I love you. Like it was I didn't hear the I'm proud of you stuff because I hadn't done anything for him to be proud of. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But without a doubt, I grew up in a household that I understood what love was.
Yeah.
So I think that probably did help me, like you're saying, but I still very much so in my 20s and even part of my 30s, I cared too much about what others thought about me.
Yeah.
And I've grown into the individual that's now sitting here in front of you, where I understand the importance of celebrating zero fucks giving.
If everybody had, you know, have that type of mojo, life would be better. You know what I mean? If you put the time and you work hard, then you will become somebody. That's the way I see it. And my dad, I remember when I moved on here, my dad picks me up at the airport. And the first thing he said to me, don't get any trouble. I'm like, what do you mean don't get any trouble? Which means don't you get a record, a police record in your life. Do not get any girl pregnant if you're not ready for that. Pay your taxes and work hard.
I feel like they should just mold your dad 1,000,000 times and give him out to everybody.
100%. I understand what he was telling me is stay focused. You might not having a lot right now, but if you put enough time, enough dedication in yourself, then you will become somebody. If you stay focused, if you stay out of trouble, you know what I mean? You can become somebody in life.
I want to say that the point you're making that's so important for people to understand is you need to have the right environment in order to grow as an individual. You need to have that support and the people around you that motivate you and open your eyes to going after something instead of going down that other path that might lead you to an area like getting a police record.
Yeah. But listen, I have my differences with my dad too. I have huge differences with my dad. You know what I mean? But in the end of the day, what he taught me when I was growing up, you know what I mean, served me well. You know, as men, we'll always have our like dispute with our parents and try to do things, you know, the way we want to do things. But my dad wasn't having it.
Your dad was the lion.
Yeah.
And as the cub started becoming a lion.
Yeah. Is my dad mojo's my way
or the highway.
That's it.
I hear you. My dad. Again, we grew up in the 80s / early 90s where parenting was done differently.
Correct.
And I'm 100% fine if parenting went back to that.
Oh, these days, I don't think so.
You know, you'd get in a lot of trouble if you did now what you did then.
Now, because like when I'm, you know, like I know that now the divorce rate in the United States is so high right now because, you know, it's harder for people to stay together. You know, like my parents, you know.
I don't think it's harder for people to stay together.
Yeah.
I think it's easier for people to walk away.
Correct. Yeah.
Because our parents had it just as tough, but they made the choice because they made the choice to get married.
Yeah.
They made the choice to work on it and not just work on the marriage, but work on themselves individually and as a unit, which then led into a child seeing things in a better light.
Yeah, I agree. But this day that we're living now it's extremely like difficult.
Why do you think right now is so
I
difficult?
think all the things that we're exposed to, social media, dating apps, people always think there's something better out there for them.
The world of media is almost brainwashing us to see the grass is greener over there.
Correct.
So something that someone has recently sat in that chair and kind of brought to the forefront for me is you are where you are because of the choices you've made in life, and that's brought you here.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's the wrong idea to think, oh, well, if I had made that choice there, I could have had that.
Yeah.
But you didn't. So therefore, you don't know if that choice would have ended up worse or better than where you ended up now. And I think for us, we had a bit more, well, we obviously had way less media at us.
Yes.
Because we just had newspapers, we just had magazines and TV.
Yeah.
Now,
maybe a little bit of internet.
Like a little bit.
A little bit. Not that crazy.
Not a whole lot. Like, I mean, I remember the first time I was on Facebook. Like, I waited like 4 years or something like that after it started because I was like against it.
Yeah.
And I really didn't understand anything that was going on. And I really had a crush on a girl, right?
Yeah.
But she had a boyfriend.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that. I think I put up a profile picture and it was like me and her.
Yeah.
But I didn't know how to get it down because one of my friends hit me up right away and he's like, yo, dude, do you know that like you just made that your profile photo? Like her boyfriend might get mad. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
And I had to call another friend to let me know how to get it down.
Yeah.
So
that's when Facebook was fun.
Yes. Yeah. The first I didn't start for the first couple years.
The first what? 5,
6 years.
5, 6 years. Yeah.
You could find friends that you hadn't seen in a long time.
Yeah. Everything was organic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Try to find friends.
The point, I think, of what social media should be, and there's a few people that are very visible on those platforms, like Gary Vaynerchuk, Alex Hormozi. These are people I see quite a lot because it's what I'm watching. These people are talking about how social media is there to help build businesses, to help create communication and relationships.
Yeah.
And it's kind of navigating through it all to find what the positive is in it and not getting bombarded or drowned by all that it isn't, which you're saying most of the younger generation right now is being swallowed up by the shit that it causes.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of it because that's why they're so confused. You know, like I said before, they so confused about what life is really is. If you go up a 13-year-old right now, and you try to explain to her, like, this is what life is. It's work hard, put work in everything that you're doing, wake up early, exercise, take care of yourself. They're going to look at you like, what?
Why do I got to do that shit?
Why I got to do that? Why I have to wake up like at 7 a.m.? Like when I was a kid, right? My dad had a rule. You have to wake up 6 a.m. every morning to go for a run. You have to go run in the morning. That's before you go to school. You come back from school, you study. After you study, you eat. After you eat, you go to you go to your karate class. After you go to your karate, it's like people used to raise their kids for success.
There's more discipline.
There's more
put
discipline
into your
and
life.
structure putting into your life. These days, when I look at parents these days, by the time the kids get up, the first thing they grab is cell phone. They're always looking for the next gadget, the next this, the next that. The parents don't really take time to talk to the kids. Hey, listen, you might be privileged. I might be able to give you this and that, but at the same time, you have to realize you are one of the luckiest person on the planet because there's a lot of kids, some other places around the world, who doesn't have the opportunity that you have right now. And some kids I come across, they don't appreciate that.
A lot of what the kids nowadays is a very common topic of conversation where they They feel like they deserve everything now without doing any work.
Well, I think it's the parents' fault.
We've seen it when iPads were coming out and all the technology.
Yeah.
It was easier for a parent, and I'm not a parent, so
I'm not a parent.
I don't
either.
have kids.
Yeah, me neither.
But,
don't get me wrong. Now. I don't have any.
But we grew up in a time where we understood that if we were out in public, even at a young age, we behaved. We didn't have an iPad put in front of us to numb us.
But not only that, we have communication. Parents these days don't have no communication with their kids. They just give them an iPad so they don't have to talk to the children. And sometimes it works. Like me when I was a kid, you have to sit at the table to talk to your mom or your dad and tell them, hey, they're going to ask you, how's your day? What did you do today? And you have to talk to them. You have a sense of communication with people that you live with. You know, some kids, sometimes they go days without talking to their parents.
No. My dad, even though he worked 7 days a week, and my mom worked 5 days a week at least because she was a teacher, very rarely was there not family dinner. Like, I mean, every day, same time, we sat at the table as a family.
On the clock.
Oh, yeah, every day. Because my dad had to have dinner at a certain time, diabetic, got home from the office at a certain time. And it was like a routine, right? Like, I don't think I really played after school. It was kind of like go straight home, do chores, get shit done, set the table. Mom got home, got dinner going. We helped with dinner. Yeah. And the moment my dad walked into the house, he would go upstairs, change out of his suit into his sweatpants, take his insulin and whatnot, and come downstairs and dinner's ready. Like we might have been in our rooms doing homework, but then everyone came to the table, sat, we had dinner, had a conversation about the day. And then we even had a little bit of like family time, you know, and it wasn't always just like go sit in front of the TV. We would maybe do a board game or play cards.
Yeah. Like family time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Sundays, it didn't matter what you did. Sunday was family day. There was no bullshit about you going out and having fun with your friends.
No, you're staying with your mom and dad. We're going to do something together.
Yeah. And we would go, like, we lived in the suburbs, so my dad would drive us into town, into downtown Toronto. We would actually go visit all of our dead family. No, seriously.
Are you serious?
Yeah, 100%. We would go to the fucking cemeteries.
Hey, what's up?
And we would go pay our respects to those who had passed.
That is crazy. I never heard of that before.
Yeah. No, it was like all the time. Yeah. And then we would go to either his parents or my mom's parents for a visit, or maybe we'd go to his sister or his brother and we'd hang out with our cousins.
Yeah.
And this was like, I mean, regularly. We did this growing up my entire life. So you might have had Friday night when you were of that age to go out and do something.
Yeah.
And Saturday was kind of like, you know, you're supposed to do your homework, but Saturday might have been your day to have fun with your own friends. But fuck, Sunday,
it's over. Like me, Sunday was church.
So we had Sunday school.
Yeah. Sunday was church. You have to be to church. You have to go to church on Sunday. Like, you know, my parents are like Baptist. So it's non-negotiable. And you know what? You know, I love my mom and dad, but sometimes like, damn, the church is like all day long. It's like, dude, it's like from like 8 a.m. to fucking nonstop.
The human connection was much bigger when we were growing up.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And now that you say the church thing, because I grew up in a Jewish household, we had, and it's funny because once I became a teenager and had a driver's license, I had a bit more freedom, but not a lot.
Yeah.
But it was every Friday night we would go to temple.
Yeah.
Like it was rare that we didn't go to temple on Friday night.
Yeah.
And then Saturday morning we had temple. And that was like 10 a.m. till noon, but it seemed like forever.
Yeah.
And then after that, there was always like coffee and cake and like just shit that you would just hang around and talk with people. And then the kids would kind of play around in the synagogue and the temple.
Yeah.
And then Sunday was Hebrew school in the morning.
Yes, this family value.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just brought up that way.
Yeah. If, you know, like family values, I think is one of the most important things for.
How do you think we get back to that?
I don't think we can.
Really?
No, I don't think we can. It's the evolution of time.
And fully admit, I'm also addicted to the cell phone.
To be honest, we all do.
Yeah.
You know, I think technology now is embedded in our mind.
Which isn't a bad thing. Like I was having this conversation with someone else. It's how you interpret what you're doing with it. So if you're doing something with the technology that's going to help your business or help your mood, like if you're like, for me, like I listen to or watch music, like I love watching singers.
Yeah.
So I'll watch a little bit of that before I go to bed,
Yeah.
which isn't really as bad as I think it is with technology, because we used to watch TV before going to bed. Now I'm watching a mini TV of specific things that give me happiness.
Yeah, like you said, it's how you use it.
Right.
You know, if you use it for the right purpose, then it's a good thing.
When I go home, like when I get home and I'm hanging out with my friends, I usually take my phone and I'll put it in my bedroom and have a couple of hours with my friends.
Yeah.
And I realize that that's what that is. So I leave my phone in my bedroom.
Yeah.
And I go out and I socialize with them.
Yeah, which is very important for your mind too.
Yeah, because I'm like literally at the desk in front of a laptop or on the couch in front of a laptop or sitting here recording. And, you know, there's a lot of like, you know, technology going on around me constantly.
Yeah.
So when I get home with my friends, I would like to really be present with them.
Yeah.
And it does many things, whether they're doing it or not.
Yeah.
It will absolutely in time sink into them that that's what I'm doing. I'm being present with them.
Which is very
I'm
important.
showing them that they are that important to me that I'm willing to put other stuff aside.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that by doing that, becoming the best version of me and celebrating zero fucks giving, like I mean really becoming me.
Yeah.
Like I mean I just wear what I want, like at home after wearing this very fancy t-shirt and sweat shorts all day.
Yeah.
I'll get into like my comfortable clothes, which is a pair of like Balinese style pants or even a sarong.
Yeah.
And an old band t-shirt that's like droopy and like it's like I look like a pure hippie, right?
Yeah.
But I'm me.
Yeah, the last time I saw you, I don't think you had that much hair.
Man, my hair, I've been growing it since 2016.
Okay.
So it might have been in a ponytail and like slicked back basically.
Sure, yeah.
But again, that's what I was doing to grow my hair. And now like, I just let it fucking go.
Yeah.
Like I don't have time to worry anymore.
As it's just the happiness, you know, if you're happy, you're happy, man. You know what I mean? You know, I learned not to let anybody come around and fuck with my happiness.
It's hard though. It takes a lot of effort.
Yeah, it takes times.
Yeah.
It's like you said, you know, it takes times for you not to give a shit. You know, I live my life the way I want to live my life. You know, like as long I know I'm doing something good for myself and to the community that I live in, and I've been a role model, then I'm happy. You know what I mean? What else? If we are not happy with ourselves, then what?
What are we doing on this rock?
Then what?
It only makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is not, you know, it's not a rocket science.
Listen, I fully admit this time and time again at how miserable, depressed, angry, selfish, chip on my shoulder, world was out to get me. All of that kind of shit is how I lived my life until later on in my 30s, where I started realizing what's actually important to me, which is living a life that can give me happiness more regularly, knowing it's not always going to be like that, because life is challenging.
Yeah, life's going to throw a ball at you once in a while.
Oh, absolutely. And I said this on the last episode.
Yeah.
The better you do, the more life comes and knocks on your fucking door.
100. And the thing is, you know, as you understand what you want in life and you understand what makes you happy, then whatever life throws at you, you always find a way to dodge that motherfucking bullet. You see what I'm saying? Like,
I love what you're saying.
I'm so good. You know what I'm saying? It's
so I want to talk about this then. So I've noticed lately that the way I respond to challenges, and not all of them, because sometimes they do get me, I've noticed that when a challenge happens, no matter how small or big it might be, I almost laugh about it while it's happening, because I know it's going to work itself out sooner than later.
Yeah.
And it makes it easier to deal with those challenges when they come at me.
Yeah.
So I love that you just said that, because again, it affirms my train of thought of what I'm doing to live my life right now.
Do you know why?
No.
Do you know why? Because you make peace within yourself.
Literally what I'm practicing on doing on a daily basis.
100% is peace. You know who you are and you know who you're all about, and you come at peace with it. Then everything's gonna be okay.
And it's funny because a lot of people will chase what is peace of mind. And I did for the longest time.
Yeah.
Until I realized that peace of mind is a choice.
It's a choice.
You can choose to be at peace.
Correct. You know, the when you're at peace, everything for me, my experience, when you're at peace, everything comes easy. Easy like a breeze.
And
because you don't really let anything bothers you. Like you said earlier, I go home and wear my PJ. I'm at peace with myself. I let my hair grow. I'm at peace with myself. I don't care what people think about me, about what I do, as long I'm happy and I'm at peace with myself.
And I think with what the points you just said a moment ago, which is so important, is as long as you're doing good for your community, and you're doing good for yourself, there's no reason why you can't feel good at the end of the day.
Why not?
Yeah. That's a big reason why I'm taking this opportunity that I have right now to live. Because it's an opportunity, it's a gift. It is something that should not be squandered, and you should do something great with it.
Correct.
And now I'm doing that in the age of 46 at the point in my journey that I'm at. And that is why I'm using this opportunity to create a community with people that want to talk about these topics, to share their experiences and realize what's more important to them and in life.
We all have different experiences in life, and I had my share, you know what I mean? And, I have a lot of difficulties that I overcome. Life had thrown a lot of ball at me. I was almost on the street one day myself, and I come with the conclusion that if I don't do something about it, nobody will do it for me. So I take a decision that this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna work as hard as possible, and I'm not going to sleep. I'm gonna go to square one, which is square one. Square one is take care of yourself first. Make sure you're okay. 2, things that I really love in life that give me joy is exercising and fitness. That's what I love. That's what give me joy in my life. I'm like, listen, I'm gonna be a personal trainer. I'm gonna train people, and I think being a trainer bring value into my life because because I'm impacting somebody else's life. I'm teaching someone how to be responsible for their own body and for their own self, for themselves. So it's a huge task. The person is putting their trust on you.
Absolutely.
100%. And you have to find a way to talk to them, motivate them, make them feel good about themselves. Because a lot of people, they're very insecure with themselves, with their body, the way they look. You know what I mean? They worry about what their friends are saying about them and other things that they talk to about their lives, their husband or their wives and everything. And they're always looking for something from you to help them, not only physically, but mentally.
And they go hand in hand because when you exercise, and I know this because I am an avid gym goer. It's night and day the way you feel when you're going regularly. It absolutely creates such a clarity in your mind.
I was lucky enough to find one top client, and he really likes me and introduced me to the entire town of West Palm Beach.
There you go.
You see what I'm saying? And I was lucky enough, and my client's like, well, I've seen you around all the time. I've never seen you do anything like unpleasant to anybody. You keep your head high. I like your style and everything, but I'm going to introduce you to some of my friends. Maybe you can get business from them and everything. So this is how it happened. And after that, they introduced some people in Palm Beach and Hypoluxo Island and different places like that. And before you know, that's when my life takes.
I'm going to say it started off because of the fact that you live your life on a high energy of positivity.
100%.
The first time I ever met you, you seemed very happy.
If I meet you, I'm going to tell you life is good. I don't want you to see yourself as a person that a failure or things not that great. I'm like, if you like, my philosophy is, if you wake up in the morning, right, you have no fucking pain. Even if you have fucking pain, you up in the fucking morning, all right? You're walking around and have your breakfast, then you're the luckiest motherfucker on the planet.
I've brought this up in the past couple episodes that if God allows you to wake up, the rest of the day is fucking gravy.
What the fuck you
right?
want? Yeah.
You have an opportunity to do something better today than you did yesterday.
Do you know how many people in the world right now would give you everything they have to wake up the next day? In the hospital bed. Like, I will give you everything I have right now for me to wake up to see the next day. Right now. And you have it, and you wake up the next day, and you're like, oh, my life is bad? Dude, fuck you. I'm sorry.
I'm 100% behind you on that one.
Life is good. So if you wake up the next day, make sure you make something of it. Because nobody's going to give it to you.
Create the opportunities that are directly in your face.
Correct.
Stop waiting for opportunities to come to you.
Yeah, because a lot of people, they are waiting for someone to hand over something to them, not go and get it themselves.
And there's something to be said about creating it yourself.
Yes.
You're going to go through some fucking dark time.
That require hard work. Come back to hard work. And a lot of no.
A lot
A
of
lot
fucking no.
A lot of no. And a lot of doubt. And people is going to make you doubt yourself.
Regularly.
You can't fucking do it. Because some people, if they cannot do it themselves, they're going to make you feel that you cannot do it either.
Those people will be the ones closest to you, whether it be friends or family. Unfortunately.
They are the one that is...
They're the first ones to step up and say, don't do that.
They're the first one. They're the first one's going to say to you, you're going to fail. What are you doing? I have a project I've been working on for the past 6.5 years. I'm like, okay, I'm going to start this company called Robinson Empire. So I call a buddy of mine, and I'm going to start a company called Robinson Empire. He's like, Robinson Empire? Why would you call your company Robinson Empire? What the fuck? Why don't you call it something else? What's wrong with the name? He's like, dude, that thing's never going to succeed. Ever. I'm like, okay. I'm going to fucking prove you wrong.
I was like the first match to the fire. Yeah, I'm fucking doing this.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
So I call a buddy of mine and I'm like, dude, I want to start this company. This is how I want the company to structure. He's like, dude, that's going to cost you a lot of money to do something like that. Because you have to build a platform from the scratch, everything. And to hire developers, that's a lot of money, kid. So that was the second, no, you can't do it. He's like, I don't think you're going to have enough money to do it. I'm like, all right, fuck you. I'm going to go to the next one. And went to Fiverr and Upwork and everything. And I found like 2 developers. And I talked to them. I'm like, this is the idea that I have. This is what I want to do. This is how different I want it to look like, And they're like, well, that's a phenomenal idea, right? We can do it, though. A project like that would have taken us a year to do it. But since you don't have that much money, it's going to be a 6-year project. Are you patient enough to wait? Because we have to make money. We have other clients. I'm like, you know what? I'll fucking wait.
Best decision ever.
Yeah. So what I did, I worked my ass off from 5 in the morning. I'm training clients from 5 in the morning, sometimes to 8 p.m. Paying them nonstop. When you focus on something, sometimes it's hard to say. You might end up losing people that dear to you.
When your vision is so clear to you and you're so driven to go down that rabbit hole to go get it, other people will never understand the sacrifices that you're willing to take to get there.
Yes.
And unfortunately, that might mean that your time elsewhere might not be.
Yeah.
And it's It's hard to find those who are willing to support you even when you're not around.
Yes. And to tell the truth, most of the most successful people on the planet had to make that type of sacrifice.
You have to be willing to be. Alex Hormozy is a person I watch a lot, and he says you have to be willing to go through your lonely phase. You have to be willing to literally feel like there's nobody around while you're doing the same fucking shit every single day without getting an inch further than you were yesterday.
He's right. 100% right. And you have to put in your mind that you're going to work harder than anybody.
Nobody can outwork you.
Nobody.
You have to become unstoppable.
You see, you ever heard about this guy? You know who he is, Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah.
Rock.
On every level, doesn't give a fuck.
That guy he is a fucking beast, man.
He's a monster.
Monster.
Yeah.
Physically, mentally.
Yeah. And he had some challenges. You know, his whole life he wanted to be a football player, and it didn't work out for him.
Never give up.
And he says the best thing that ever happened to him was the thing that didn't work out for him.
That's what I mean.
Because if you make those choices and that works out, would it have been better or worse than where you are now?
Correct.
Look at that motherfucker now. And even right now, even with the fact that he's older, already successful, he is still using the visible platforms in social media for the positivity of inspiring others.
That's why I like The Rock.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I like The Rock, and I'm always going to be a fan of The Rock, is because he's a super positive dude.
And I can guarantee you, he has a lot of challenging days where he doesn't want to be.
Oh, yeah.
But he chooses for the betterment of others to be that image for everybody. And that takes a lot of fucking bravery.
A lot.
You and I both know because we both chosen to be positive people.
Yeah.
And we both know the shit we deal with up here on a regular basis regardless.
Oh, yeah.
And it takes effort.
Like you said, like people's going to try to bring you down all the time.
Every day.
Because let me tell you something. My fiance now, you know, she was like sometimes, you know, she's down sometimes, but I'm lucky to have a woman like that in my life. You know what I mean? She, you know, she's watching the show, ever watch it. You know what I mean? You know, I always said to her, like, hey, this is how the world operates. If you're too happy, they're going to find something wrong with you. Why are you so happy all the time? What's wrong with this fucking guy? He's always have a smile on his face. He's always happy. He's always at peace. Fuck you.
People can't stand it.
Yeah, let me tell you something.
Yeah.
If you're an asshole, they're like, look at the motherfucker. He's such an asshole.
Yeah.
People can't be happy for you. You have to be happy within yourself. And
zero fucks given. Absolutely. And it takes time. It takes practice. It takes every ounce of fucking effort you have some days. Just like I'm sure you tell people when they hire you as a trainer, like you got to go to the gym this many days a week and you got to go on the days you don't fucking want to go. That is like a catchphrase out there in social media. Yeah. You got to show up for you on the days you don't want to fucking be there.
This is how you become successful.
Yes. And it transfers directly into the mindset of being happy and being okay with yourself and wearing the clothes you're comfortable in and dressing, you know, wearing your hair, painting your nails, whatever it is that you're into, that you like, that you get enjoyment out of. You've got to do that. But you've got to show up for yourself even on the days that you don't feel like you want to, even in that aspect of life.
And you know what? I was just telling my clients, sometimes you don't feel like come to the gym. And when you feel like that, that's when you have to come. And usually that's when you have the best workout. Do what you can and do it well.
The business, we're now 6.5 years later.
Yeah.
And where is it at now?
We have our launch next month.
Yeah?
Yeah. The big launch of Robinson Empire.
Really?
Yeah, fuck yes, dude.
So is this like launched?
No, we're going to have a soft launch next month.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be blasting social media everywhere.
Love it. Yeah. We're also going to blast it for you.
We have,
we're also absolutely. You send me stuff. You tag Life Choices in it.
Yeah.
And my buddy Pete that does my tattoos. Anytime he's doing something, he'll tag me in it, and I'll create my own story of his stuff and put it on my page. You fucking better believe it.
Fuck yes, dude.
We are here to help each other become better than what we are.
That's if the world was like that, then the world would have been a better place.
It will be.
You know
my world.
That's it.
The world
My world is like that too.
Yeah.
For me, it's about progress.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you like, some of my friends always say, how can you get along with everybody? Dude, you talk to everybody. Why not? If you're progressing, I love it.
Mm.
I'll do everything that I can to help you. It feels good in my eye. You see what I'm saying? It's like, look,
I do.
Look at this fucking guy's flourish. I know him. He's flourishing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Why should I not be happy for you and help you in the process? Everything that I can.
Absolutely.
Because at the end of the day, it's what they call happiness.
Yeah.
If you're happy and you're at peace with yourself, then you will understand someone else's happiness.
And how can, we have this happiness inside of ourselves.
Yeah.
And we understand, so we do for others.
Yeah.
What people don't understand is like, how can you not want to share what that feels like with other people?
If you're coming from a family that is very loving, happy, you know, who teach you how to help others, have you, you know, so a family that get you involved in charity work and helping other kids like you, and get involved. As you're growing up, that's all you're going to do. You know, like, because that's what your parent taught you to help, love, and accept. That's it. Because I think acceptance is where this day. People cannot accept other people for who they are.
And those people are individuals who can't accept who they are.
Correct. Like you said, it's all the garbage that the social media have been feeding us.
It's media in itself, and big government and all the 1% and all that stuff.
Government is a big part of that bullshit.
Yeah, they want us all to be separated and staring at our best friend in our hand and not communicating and not creating communities that can help one another, so that they can have an easier way of dictating how we become a consumer. That's my belief system in it. And that's why, again, I'm trying to shift the whole thing by starting small within myself, healing myself, sitting down with other people that are in the process and the journey of healing themselves, and sharing with other people, so that more people out there can come into this community and spread it and create their own communities. Because just because I'm doing this Life Choices podcast doesn't mean that 75 of my followers can't start their own podcast based on the same thing. Because the great thing about it is you're an individual.
Correct.
You can talk about the same topics, but you're going to talk about it in your way.
Yeah.
The way you know how to express it.
Yeah.
And that's what I love. That's how you create that snowball effect in everything.
Yeah.
We come from two different lives. We're doing two different industries, but we both believe in the same principles.
Correct.
And we're both living lives that we believe are happier now.
I talked to someone and said, you used to be a chef, right? That's fucking legit.
That is the main source of my income that allows me to run a podcast where I am currently not making a single dollar.
That is sweet, dog. You're chef making fucking good food and you have a podcast.
Yeah.
That is sweet.
Listen, every morning that I'm allowed to wake up, I am so grateful, and I have many practices that the Life Choices community knows about that I do.
Yeah.
Because I'm aware of how many people must look at my life and say, wow, I wish I was him.
That's fully legit, dude.
And I'm not a celebrity. I'm not worth hundreds of millions of dollars yet.
Yeah.
I don't have notoriety. You know what I'm saying? I still have my anonymity.
Yeah.
You know, but I still am aware of the fact that there are many people out there in this world, on this rock, that would give their life to live the life that I have lived and that I'm going to live.
100%. And that's what a lot of people don't understand.
Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to waste any more of my time as I may have done in the first 38 years of my life, because that's really when things switched for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 46 now, and it would be a goddamn shame.
So when things did switch for you? Take me to that journey.
We're turning the table here on the host.
Yeah.
So and that's completely fine. No, that's completely fine.
We're having a discussion. I would like to know more about you. Yeah.
In 2016,
Yeah.
I was at the point in my life where, yet again, I found myself that everything was like the same, wasn't really changing. I was working for a family on their yacht, and I'd been doing that particular job with that family for almost 6 years.
Yeah.
And I was in a not great relationship that I've talked about vaguely a few episodes.
Yeah.
And I always said I was going to go on a trip around the world, and I always made excuses as to why not.
Yeah.
And so I pulled the chute. It was May of 2015 that I made the decision. I'm going to quit November 20th, 2015. And whatever money I have, I'm going to pack a bag and I'm going to leave.
Yeah.
And I even knew back then, because I was dating that girl that, I was not in a good relationship with.
Yeah.
I knew I was leaving.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. I packed a fucking bag. I made a somewhat plan to go see 25 countries in 8 months.
Fucking sweet.
I started off with a big ass backpack that was like the length of my body almost. Within a month, I went down to a small backpack. I had 4 pairs of underwear and socks, 2 pairs of shorts, a t-shirt or 2, and 1 pair of long pants, and maybe like a thin jacket.
Yeah.
And then by the end of that trip, I had a yoga mat tied to the bag. I had sneakers tied to the bag that I hiked in. And I had become an individual that I had not yet met.
So how that's changed the way you see life then?
I started meeting people who valued me in a way after only knowing me for maybe a day or maybe a week, depending on where I was.
That's fucking sweet.
Valued me more than people that may have known me for a long period of time in my life, or at least showed me that they valued me.
Yeah.
And the connections that I made with people, the amount of times that, I think it's the Dos Equis commercial, you're the most interesting man. So the amount of times that people had said that to me on my travels, because not many people are on an 8-month travel by themselves with kind of an idea of where they want to go, but every day just kind of making a choice.
Yeah.
And that whole adventure, and it gets me emotional right now, it changed my life like I can't even express, because I became the best version of me by the time that trip finished. Who I was is who I've always wanted to be.
That's a great story, man.
And the story's right behind you on that bookshelf.
Yeah.
I wrote a book.
Oh, no kidding.
I had
see how much I'm learning about you now.
Yeah,
I'm glad I asked you that fucking questions, right?
I love it. I had journaled every day of the trip almost, and I had 3 journals by the end of it.
So how many countries did you go?
25 countries
fucking sweet.
in 8 months. Yeah, I might be able to say them all, but I left here, Miami, and I went to Ecuador, Chile, Argentina, South Africa, New Zealand, Australia, Bali, Thailand, Israel, Greece, Croatia, Italy, Germany. I think that's when I went east to like Budapest, Prague, Poland, Austria, Belgium, England, Ireland, Scotland, France, Spain, Portugal.
Yeah, I heard. I heard Portugal is a sweet country, bro.
Spain and Portugal is my second favorite place in the entire world, and then Southeast Asia.
I went to Spain with my fiance. Man, we had the best fucking time there.
Spain, Barcelona is phenomenal.
Oh my god,
went to Malaga.
Yeah. Oh my god,
Malaga in the south, and Madrid.
Yeah. We went to see a football game at Genova, something like that. We went to see, we saw Barcelona. Real Madrid.
Real Madrid. That's like one of the best teams.
That was great.
Yeah.
That was a good time.
Yeah.
She loves it. And she loves it. We have a good time. But my next stop, I want to go to Portugal.
Yeah, I'll tell you, you want to go to a place called Peniche. It's in the top part in the peninsula. It's like a little spot that comes out, very family oriented, very relaxed, very chill, very beautiful.
Yeah.
Wonderful little lighthouse that you could ride your bicycle to for sunset every day. It's absolutely
I want to check the surf too. I heard the surf
it's good.
is amazing,
every day.
Amazing.
Every day.
Yeah.
They actually have the biggest big surf of the year.
Is that in November?
I'm not sure what time of year it is, but I just know that they actually
I want to go check it out.
So yeah, that is where the positivity of who I am now started.
Yeah.
And when I returned, I went back to the boat that I was working on. And it was very quickly after that I kind of lost him a little bit. And ever since then, I've made myself a promise to keep going after who that person was.
Okay.
And it's important to me to share that with other people. And that's why that book really tells people about me.
Thanks for sharing, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
For me, life is a very important thing, and I cherish life every day.
And that's what I was saying. Like, it would be an absolute shame for me to waste one more minute of my life, being the fact that what I've already done in it is so much more than most people will ever do. That if I waste any more time
100%
not talking to people about it and not sharing it and not trying to do something with my life, it would just be wrong.
Yeah, and I think you're doing something extremely positive here.
Thank you.
To bring everybody around and talk, to share their own experience and everything, who they are and basically what they really think about life in general.
And the invitation is out there for everyone. In season 2, almost every episode at the end, I would say, scroll on down. The email's there. If you want to be a guest, reach out, send us an email. I read my DMs, all my emails, like every day, a couple times a day. Yeah. And I try to comment back on every single person that comments on any episode that we've put up in the public area on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm serious, man. I think you're doing something extremely positive.
This is what I always say. God gives you what you need when you need it, not when you want it.
Correct.
And this is the right time for us to sit down and get to know each other.
And I really think you have something extremely positive going on. I've been to a couple of podcasts before. I think yours is like more, like I said earlier, more like friendly, chill. That's what I like. And you can really, really talk your mind.
Yeah. This is a no judgment free zone.
Judgment free zone.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
And that's why I want to invite anyone who's comfortable enough to come and have a conversation is more than welcome to come. And anyone that might have a little apprehension behind it is more than welcome to reach out to me.
Of course.
And I will talk to them offset before if they want to kind of get an idea as to how it goes and what will happen. Some topics might be shared of what we may talk about before people show up. But when people ask me, can you tell me the questions you're going to ask so I can be prepared? I don't, because I don't know where the conversation's going to go.
I think it's just a conversation. I mean, if you're sharing your experiences, it's like, I don't know what your experience was. Let's talk.
That's it.
Let's find out together.
Let's find out about what life choices you made.
That's it.
I come in and out of this port constantly. I've been coming in and out of the port for the past 16 years of working on yachts as a private chef. I'll still be coming in and out of this port probably for another 2 to 5 years, because that's my plan, to take Life Choices podcast into a company that will create revenues that I can step away from private chefing and I can start taking this more on the road and go more worldwide with it. That's my plan.
Oh, that's a great plan.
I'm unstoppable, and no one's going to tell me that I can't do this. No one's going to tell me I'm not going to become successful.
No one can tell you no.
Exactly, because I already know I am.
Yeah, because like, you got to be ready for it, because a lot of people are going to say no.
I tell this to people: when you start something new, you have to be okay with being a bit overbearing, because you're going to need to do things regularly that might annoy people.
Yeah,
and you have to be okay with it, and you absolutely, like you said, have to be okay with hearing no often.
90% of it's going to be no.
Yeah.
Sometimes even 99% of it's going to be no.
And the first business might not work out.
No.
The second business night. I had a guy, actually a person I worked with a long time ago. He sent a message, he DM'd me or something. And he said, why the fuck should I follow you? Or why the fuck should I believe you when you're just doing your first startup? And I giggled again, because right away, I know those things are going to happen.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, well, clearly you don't know that I started a catering company back in my 20s that epically fucking failed.
Yeah.
So it's not my first.
It's not the first one.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And when you think about it, my life is a startup. I've redone my life 3 times that most people don't know about.
Yeah.
It's in the book.
But the thing is, you learn from your failure anyway.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
If you don't fail, how are you going to learn?
Yeah. And if you're too afraid to jump off the cliff, you're not going to know how deep the water is.
Yeah. I'm always ready to jump off the fucking cliff.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. Before we wrap it up, the company that you're working on for the past 6.5 years, Robinson Empire.
Yep.
You're doing a soft launch.
I'm doing a soft launch next month. It will be in March.
Okay.
March the 1st.
Okay.
We're gonna be on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. We're gonna be in Miami for our first trade show.
Nice. Congrats.
Thanks.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah, we're our first trade show. So it's a platform like Amazon, but we give our vendors more freedom to sell their own products, and the vendors can create their own shop. If you go to Amazon right now and you click on one product, then you're buying the products directly from Amazon, and the Amazon basically wire whatever to the warehouse and sell it to you, right? If you see Nike in our platform, you click into Nike, that platform will take you straight to a Nike store, and you can see all the products that Nike have to offer. You can check the flash sale, the coupons, everything that's going on inside that Nike store. And the vendors that we have right now, we already have like about 150 vendors already.
Congrats.
Yeah. And we're going to be all over the United States doing trade shows in Vegas, California, Miami. After that, we planning on going to England and going to Australia, different places around the world. And this is how we're going to start the company. So
clearly the name that you chose is the best, because what else explains that than an empire?
That's Empire. Anybody who want to have any information, more information about Robinson Empire, they can go to info@robinsonempire.com. I hope one day I can come back here and tell you how successful Robinson Empire is.
Thank you for saying that, because I was literally going to say, Robinson, you're coming back in the following season.
Yeah.
And not even waiting until it becomes this worldwide success. I want like updates as we go. Like, I'd
be more than happy, because your podcast really inspired me. You know what I'm saying? And the podcast is something I really wanted to do. And just to see a guy like you doing it and be so super positive, and the setup, I really love the setup, to be honest with you.
And I say this to everyone else who's running a business that's completely different than a podcast. If you ever feel that your company could benefit from having a podcast, I will give you all the information that I've gathered in order to create this and learn all the equipment and all the editing. I've learned and dabbled in everything now, from videography to audio to editing. So I'm more than happy, like I said, to help anyone that wants to start their own.
Like you said, at the end of the day, we all help each other. That's the way it is.
And I don't know how much time I got left on this rock. And if I have even one extra day, I want to help other people become better at living in their life.
Well, and first of all, I want to thank you first for inviting me to your podcast.
Thank you.
That's fucking awesome, dude.
You're welcome.
Thanks, sir. Appreciate you. And I wish you the best success. Maybe if you're on the road one day, I can join you on the road. Maybe
Absolutely.
Robinson Empire can be somewhere we can team up, do something together.
1,000,000 times yes. Yeah. Robinson, thank you very much for joining us here today on the Life Choices podcast. I've thoroughly enjoyed chatting with you.
Happy to be here. Thank you so much.
For all my lifers out there, thank you once again for swinging by this week, and we'll see you all here next week, Tuesday at 2 p.m. on the Life Choices podcast. Much love, everybody.
Peace. That was awesome, dude.
Ladies and gentlemen,
you are now about
The Journey Life Choices podcast.